Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix.
Hey, guess who cracked your encryption using nothing but Hunter's laptop? That's right, it's me, Chico. Heard y'all ain't hiring me. Huge mistake. I've got 12 clearance levels above the Pentagon and a shoebox full of Wi-Fi passwords.
Get him out of here.
Wake up, Trail Mix. I am the frequency.
The nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Lady MawMaw, what is going on with the Wall Street Journal today?
The Wall Street Journal story that's got everyone talking is all about the president being told he's in the Epstein files despite previous denials. It's definitely a big headline, and it's stirring up quite the conversation in political circles.
Well, now, what is the Wall Street Journal saying about who told Trump that he's in the Epstein files?
So according to the Wall Street Journal, it was Attorney General Pam Bondi who informed President Trump that his name appeared multiple times in the Epstein files. She did clarify that these mentions were unverified hearsay and didn't imply any wrongdoing. Definitely adds another layer of intrigue to the whole story.
Well, now, didn't the president just tell us a few days ago that he was not in those files, that Pam Bondi had told him he was not in those files?
Yeah, that's exactly what makes this whole situation so intriguing. Just a few days ago, the president was pretty firm in saying that Pam Bondi had assured him he wasn't in those files. And now this new report from the Wall Street Journal is flipping that narrative on its head. It's definitely giving everyone a lot to talk about.
Well, now, what does Lady MawMaw say about this kind of behavior, saying one thing and turns out to be another thing?
Well, sugar, it looks like someone's been playing a little game of political peekaboo. One day it's hide and seek with the truth, and the next day the truth is out there doing a little dance in the spotlight. Let me tell you, when folks say one thing and then the truth comes out doing the cha-cha right in front of everyone, it's just a fabulous reminder that the spotlight always finds the truth in the end. Keep those dancing shoes ready, because you never know when the next twist is coming.
What do your magic cards say about where this story's going, Lady MawMaw?
Oh, honey, let me consult the mystical deck. I'm seeing a card that says revelations and surprises ahead. That means this story is probably just getting started, and we can expect a few more plot twists before all is said and done. So buckle up, because it looks like we're in for quite the ride.
Okay, here's the judge's order in the case we've been following this week on the live stream with Carolyn, our in-house counsel. I mean, this is a case we started covering on Monday, and we had the motion here that the DOJ filed to release the grand jury transcripts in the Epstein case. And when we looked at the rules on what you can do with grand jury transcripts and making them public, we concluded they didn't meet any of the requirements, and I guess the judge did too today.
It didn't meet any of the requirements in Rule 6E. There was just no basis for releasing it, which is, I agree.
So what we're looking at here is the White House is trying to get released the grand jury transcripts, which include, I guess, witness testimony. We don't really know all that it includes, in two separate cases, right?
Actually, three, because there would be the Florida case, which was, almost 20 years ago. And then in New York, there is the case against Epstein and the case against Maxwell. That was two separate cases.
But they filed to get grand jury transcripts in the New York and the Florida case.
All of them.
All three. They filed three motions.
Yes, three. Yeah, three.
So they're working.
Yeah, because in New York, the one of the judges, there was Judge Berman, and then there's also the new judge, Engelmeyer, I believe. So there are two judges in New York, one for each case. And the one that we read from Berman, I believe, in a footnote, he said, I understand that the government, DOJ, has filed a similar motion in the sister case. So there, and then there was also the one in Florida. So there were 3 motions.
Wow. They're working hard at losing.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't get that much if they were to get the grand jury transcripts. It's not really going there. There won't be any bombshells in it. It will not really reveal very much. And you mentioned that there would be witness testimony, and that is correct. But it depends on how you define witness. I think that generally, if we're talking about a witness to a crime, you're talking about somebody who might have seen what happened. I doubt that there would be any witnesses who testified in the grand jury who was actually present when any criminal activity occurred. The witnesses in the grand jury would more than likely be law enforcement officers who have interviewed those witnesses to the crime and then tell that to the grand jury. So just as it's a little bit of nitpicking maybe, but to distinguish what witnesses might have testified before the grand jury, I think it's important, because it's not going to be, they likely did not put any of the victims in the grand jury.
And we learned today, I think later today, Trump's attorney, or the DOJ attorney, who used to be Trump's personal attorney,
the DAG, he typically called the DAG, Deputy Attorney General,
is meeting with Maxwell today.
That's what I have read. Yes,
something else we've been following.
I'm sure her attorney will also be present.
Yeah, and so they've got this thing tied up in the courts. The House of Representatives Oversight Committee is talking about calling her in to testify. What's interesting to me is it's the White House keeping the story moving in the legal world. I mean, they're the ones that filed these motions, and we have judges' orders coming in. Everything's a news story. They're meeting with Maxwell. So there's a lot of talk on, among Trump supporters that it's the Democrats that are making this story stay alive. But it's really, a lot of it is the legal maneuvering by the administration itself.
Well, and the Department of Justice certainly is very involved in what's going on. They did file the motions to get the grand jury transcripts, and apparently initiated the meeting with Maxwell. It appears so.
So to wrap up in this case we've been following so closely, it's not over, because there's another judge yet to rule. The other judge in the White House, or the DOJ motion to release grand jury transcripts, that other judge postponed a ruling basically asking the DOJ to explain your argument, because implying that he didn't really get their original argument.
Yes, that they needed to explain how Rule 6E applies in the Epstein case.
And that's the rule that we went through line by line on Monday, that sets forth the exceptions to grand jury secrecy, and we concluded they didn't apply, and so far at least one judge has agreed with us.
Well, but with the caveat that 11th Circuit interpretation is a bit stricter than the Second Circuit interpretation.
11th Circuit being Florida, and Second Circuit being New York.
11th Circuit is Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Because we're talking here about rules of procedure in courts, in criminal procedure, and so each circuit tends to have different rules or different interpretation of their rules.
A different interpretation, slightly different interpretation. No, that's not uncommon. When that happens, then on occasion, that's the basis for taking something to the Supreme Court, to have the Supreme Court explain it and come up with their own stamp on it, and so that then all the circuits would follow the same interpretation.
We're going to keep our weed whackers on and stay in this one as it moves forward, and really appreciate your expertise. And I also appreciate that you're my cousin.
I appreciate that too, Craig. I enjoy it. Enjoy your company.
I always want something to chew on in food news.
In today's food news, the FDA is shaking things up by revoking a bunch of outdated food standards, which means we might see some changes in labeling. Gillian Michaels is also on a mission calling for more food dyes to be banned.
We can't do Mystic News without some horoscope.
Oh, of course. Let's see what the stars have in store today. The cosmic energies are saying it's a day for unexpected surprises, so keep an eye out for little moments of magic. And for those born under fire signs, today might be the perfect day to try something new and bold. Just remember to have fun with it all.
What's a fire sign?
Fire signs in astrology are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They're known for being passionate, dynamic, and a little bit spontaneous. So if you're one of those signs, today's horoscope might be nudging you to embrace that fiery energy.
I'm Cancer, and my birthday was 2 days ago. What does that say about me?
Oh, happy belated birthday. As a Cancer, you're all about that nurturing, intuitive energy, and your season is such a special time. Usually means new beginnings, fresh starts, and lots of positive vibes. So this is the perfect time to lean into all the things that make you feel at home and nurture those around you. Hope you had a wonderful birthday.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
I was just listening to Heather Cox Richardson talking about how that it's not going away. Let me just play the opening of what she had to say about that.
Is not going away. In fact, it's getting worse. And you can see real stress on the part of President Donald Trump and the people around him.
I want to believe that, but we've been here so many times with him. I mean, all those trials and convictions, and it was like, this is the one, Yeah. And now I'm starting to hear that again on this.
Well, I think because they keep throwing up things to make people go squirrel, and people won't go squirrel for them.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is more interesting over here.
Yeah. I mean, changing the name of the Washington Commanders. Yeah, that's just going to really work. But I guess the thing is, I was trying to figure out what is different, if there is a difference. I think one is he's into something here that these MAGA people, particularly the ones who grew out of are adjacent to the QAnon movement, this Epstein story is real to them. I mean, and he fed them, and he nurtured it, and they believed that there is a conspiracy and a cabal, and that he was gonna drain the swamp and shed light on it all.
And it doesn't help that he continually displays his racism.
Yeah.
I never minded like the Braves and the Chiefs as far as team names, but Redskins, no. That's a no-no.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, now you raise a really good point, because I hadn't thought of that connection, but because these distractions he's throwing out, he's trying to distract his own base at this point.
Right.
And so that you're right. I mean, getting into an issue like that about, woke for the Indians, that's where he's trying to get his own crowd distracted. Yeah, I can see that.
And, and like the military things that they're doing that are slowly forcing people of color out of universities and the military academies and various things like this, that Hegseth is particularly noticeable for anti-color of any kind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a white supremacist movement. I mean, yeah, I've long paid attention to the white supremacist movement in our politics, and I actually thought in Trump's first election in 2016, I thought, well, this is their last gasp. You know, this is their final election, the first Trump election. Boy, was I wrong. And I knew they would fight back and fight hard, but I thought they were done, you know, that they had run out of tools and weapons and soldiers, but no, they're
Well,
strong
way
as
back
ever.
50 years ago, when I was still working for sane Republicans, I started noticing that extreme starting to infiltrate, you know, and it started with like the California Republican Assembly. And they slowly but surely have pushed out things like the log cabin Republicans.
Because, you know, I guess, I don't know if you're going this far back, but you can take it all the way back to the Birchers, the Birch Society. Yeah, with the Republican.
But it really became a big thing in California.
Ronald Reagan, Dwight Eisenhower and Ronald Reagan drove the Birchers out of the party.
Right.
In those days.
Yeah, and like I said, there were sane Republicans. You could go issue by issue and either agree or disagree, and you could put together coalitions that would work on agreeable politics all the way around. Now you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's the difference. And I keep wondering about what would William Buckley, who is the more modern father of all this, would he really be on board with a lot of what Trump's doing?
Absolutely not. When I was with the U.S. Chamber, Buckley would come in to do recordings. And he was a very pleasant man. Yeah. And there is no way that he would approve of any of this. You know, he might argue the very arch conservative viewpoint, but not from a racist stance.
Let's do a speedy tour of the headlines. In entertainment, Will Smith is in the spotlight again, reportedly selling awesome properties amid rumors about financial struggles and marital issues. In the sports world, NFL training camps are getting intense, with Russell Wilson being named the Giants' starting quarterback. And over in finance, meme stocks are making waves again, with retail investors pushing markets to new highs. That's the quick scoop for today.
And we've got a crypto dude, Crypto Carl. Crypto Carl coming up later as one of our auditions to be a trail mix contributor. Is that what I understand to be correct?
You got it. Crypto Carl is ready to bring all that Web3 energy to the trail mix stage. We'll see if he can charm the audience with his crypto wisdom, and audition to become a regular contributor is going to be a fun ride.
Hey, are you still letting your government tell you what money is? That's adorable. While you were paying taxes, I was yield farming NFTs backed by AI hamster sweat. I'm Crypto Carl. I don't work for money. I channel it. I've got 12 monitors, 6 browser tabs open to court documents, and one spreadsheet that predicts the collapse of Western finance, based on lunar cycles. Now, I don't want to say I'm ahead of the curve, but my digital wallet just got subpoenaed by 3 sovereign nations and a hedge fund in Dubai. Let me in, Trail Mix. Let me fork your worldview.
Okay, I'm Lady MawMaw, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.